joining us today on the Scarlet Standard is a dude who's played in every corner of college football, from Conference USA to the SEC. Now he's here in the Mountain West in Vegas. He's got the size, he's got the hands, he's got the resume. And yeah, in high school, he was a homecoming king too. He's the newest tight end for UNLV. His name is Varkeyes Gums. Welcome to the show, man.
Good to be here. Good to be here.
Well, all right, I'll get started with some of these. Your name was popping in the portal in the off season. You had a lot of interest when you were coming out of Arkansas. Originally, you had signed with UAB. What made you say, "Nah, I'm going to Vegas"? What made you switch?
I was going to UNLV. That was like at the beginning of my transfer portal era. I had wanted to make sure it was the right choice. I already know some players already over here at UNLV. They had told me about UNLV, and it was like they getting like a new staff. They need a new tight end because he was just going to the league. So I was like, why not? And then I had got in contact with those guys that was already over here, and then got in contact with Dan Mullen, and then I'm here.
Speaking of Mullen, when you sat down with Mullen and Coach Dennis, what hit different about the pitch that he gave you to come to UNLV?
Knowing that Coach Mullen had success in the past, knowing that he produced tight ends and the offense that he had displayed, knowing that they was coming in here to win games, and then that's what I had wanted to do too. Come here and to be successful. So that's what we're doing, and we're doing.
When you were at, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. When you were at, speaking of the wins, did you have any knowledge of where the program was under Barry Odom? Because Barry Odom did come from Arkansas.
Nah, that's crazy because I never met Coach Odom. When he went to Arkansas, when he left Arkansas, that's when I had came into Arkansas. And when he left UNLV, that's when I came to UNLV. So we never met before. So yeah, we never met before. But I've been always going places.
That's funny.
Yeah.
So UNLV, obviously, they don't have the deepest football history as Arkansas, but they're definitely a program that's on the rise. Now they went from Marcus Arroyo, who was the coach. He took over during COVID. He had an 0-6 season to a 2-win season to a 5-win season. And when Barry came in 2022, he kind of took that to a different level. He went from 9 wins to 11 wins last year. Knowing those kind of things and knowing the coach and with the pedigree that Mullen is, what can you do to help continue to elevate the program in the right direction that needs to go?
Just to buy into the things that those guys in the past, what they did to keep the program from going up from. So looking at the past records that they have, they've been on the rise. So just knowing and just keeping those guys who've been a part of that here and listening to the things that they did to keep it going, just been on a goal and just buying into the little things that we have to do on the off season to keep things going, buying into what you have to do for us to be successful this season.
The reason I was asking is you brought up the tight end that was leaving, Kaleo Bowling guy. He was a 5-year guy at UNLV. He was he had been there through kind of the transition, kind of basically between the three coaches in a sense. So did you have any chance to talk to him at all before while he was doing the draft prep and anything?
The first time I saw him was during the pro day they had at UNLV. I had talked to him like a little bit on how the pro day been going, but I didn't really talk to him about being here at UNLV because there was so much going on. But I definitely got to talk to him about him, like his experience here, saying it's been like a good experience in Vegas. It'll be a good experience here. Yeah, but I didn't really get to talk to him like in depth about his time has been here because it was still doing the pro day.
Did you have a chance to talk to like guys like Ricky White or Jackson Woodard, guys like that?
Yeah, I had talked to Ricky. He just reminded me of like how far they come. We need to keep it going, and they just wishing the best for us this upcoming season.
I know Ricky. He had a bunch of chances to go elsewhere, and he chose to stay here. I mean, there was reports. Don't know. Obviously, you know how that kind of stuff goes. There's stuff everywhere that comes out. Who knows what's true? Who knows what's not? Only the person knows. So it's kind of a good thing that he told you to keep going, keep it pushing. because like you could see the facilities here are top notch.
Yeah,
For what people think of a Mountain West level school, UNLV puts those, deep in
yeah,
the water.
definitely a legion. That's definitely somewhere to play.
Let's see. You've been around. You've been to North Texas. You played at Arkansas, and now obviously you're in Mullen system. What's something you picked up at each stop that's made you a better player?
North Texas, I can say that I got the experience like playing as a young player. It taught me like the young mistakes that I make in the game. So when I got to Arkansas, it was just learning more of like what the defense is doing. So, but as in being all those places, I can just say like it don't matter what conference you're in. Like talent is talent, and you can go to the league from any one of those conferences.
Yeah, I think, like you said, talent gets found, especially in football. How many guys that were undrafted get, make a team and then make an impact. I'm not
Yeah,
saying that you can't get drafted, but I'm just saying in general. Or
yeah,
like how many kids from like a small D2, not D2, like an FCS or schools like that end up making a roster, making impact because their talent just needed to be seen.
yeah.
That's one of the biggest things. Let's transition. So kind of talk about that journey a little bit. 2022, you were at North Texas. You had a really good freshman year. You had, 450 plus yards and 5 touchdowns. What was clicking for you that season? And what did you figure out right away when you got on the college field?
That year was my red shirt freshman year. So I had already been around those coaches and the players for like a whole year already. So I had seen the offense. I had seen what I was gonna be doing for like a whole year. So like I was already confident in going into the next year because I already been around the offense in the locker room and those guys for almost a year before I had the All American year that I had.
So at Arkansas, it was kind of a little different, SEC level, things like that. How did you stay locked in even if you weren't getting on the field as much as you thought you were going to?
Just knowing that my time was gonna come, the opportunity was gonna present itself, and then I was gonna take advantage of it, even if it was at Arkansas or I had to go to a different school. Like I just knew the time was gonna come because like I was already a top tight end in the portal before I got to Arkansas, so I had already knew that I was still a good tight end. It's just the opportunity wasn't there at the time, so I just had to be patient. And
During that stretch, because you weren't really like as much in the spotlight as you were at North Texas, how did that change your approach, just how you see the game, and how is that going to affect your play, or not affect your play, but affect your vision and approach at UNLV?
just knowing that we all have down times and just in those moments, just to be more of a learner, just to learn throughout the time that you're not getting what you want, just to be a learner and just to learn throughout those time. And I feel like that'll help me approach the game today because like I know how it feels to be at the top and then I know how it feels to be at the bottom too. So I feel like that'll help my approach at UNLV because I already know how it feels to be on both sides of the table.
It kind of goes into the transition about that I was going to bring up next about you're now here in Vegas, obviously. You have new colors, new vibes. Now, what you got some young tight ends with you in that locker room. What do you want to bring, not just as a player, but as a leader with your past experience to teach them, maybe some of those things that you've learned?
Just to always stay coachable throughout the time of if you're not getting what you want at the time, it's always gonna be a moment and you're gonna always get your opportunity. You gotta make the best out of every opportunity you get. And just to work hard and just to leave your mark. So and then I'm in a room with a bunch of young guys, guys who played a little bit, but just still got more time, just to leave them with the fact of knowing that you can still do it even in your downtime.
What about the program, the city, or the locker room has hit you the most? What being in Vegas or being at UNLV? What has made the biggest impact on you so far?
Knowing that most of the guys in the locker room got like the same story as me, like most of them coming from P P5 programs, SEC, Big Ten, like you just got guys come from all over those type of programs and who played in big games and that's had big names, but just got falling off somewhere in the depth chart of those big schools. And then now we're here trying to get the same goal accomplished. So, and just being in Vegas has been experienced by itself. Like coming from playing Arkansas to Vegas, it's definitely been a lot more to do, way more.
What is your favorite thing to do in Vegas that you've done so far, or is there something that you haven't done yet that you want to do?
I definitely want to experience the Spear. Like I still haven't been inside the Spear yet. That's definitely something I want to do. Something I have experienced already is definitely the Script. Like I'm like probably like 15 minutes away from the Script, or like 12 if you want to be exact. But I could say the Script is definitely experience and just like seeing the view, seeing the different things, and just being in Vegas. How many celebrities you just walk past on a regular day basis?
It's a town that never sleeps. There's always something going on. Doesn't matter what
Yeah,
day of the week. There's always something to see.
there's definitely always something going on.
So going back to what you said about how there's a bunch of guys that from P5s that came to P4s. Going back, hitting on the Vegas stuff a little bit. Obviously, you know how VGK is very popular here, the hockey team. So one of the things that they wrote on, this just popped in my memory. One of the things that they wrote on that first year, because they did an expansion draft when they got a team, and it was a bunch of guys that were just left unprotected that Vegas took from other teams, and one of the players, I think it was either Jonathan Marchessault or one of them, labeled the team the Golden Misfits, and they rode with that in the locker room all season, and they ended
Yeah,
up being projected from being one of the on paper one. This is not obviously UNLV is not, but projected one of the worst teams in the league to go into the Stanley Cup final in their very first year, and they rode the Golden Misfit train the whole time. Is that something that how you guys kind of see? It was a bunch of kind of misfit guys that are put together that
yeah,
just are gonna shock the world and show what they can do.
yep, definitely, definitely.
I think knowing the history of like the last couple years, there are some hurdles that UNLV still needs to get through. I don't know how much you know about the history about some of the schools that UNLV has against some that they play. But the biggest hurdle obviously is Boise State.
Yep.
Boise State, UNLV has lost to 3 times in the last 2 years. Well, 2 times in the conference championship game, and they have not beaten Boise since 1976. So, what is your guys' mindset to finally break through the hurdle, especially since you play them earlier in the year up at Boise? What is your guys' mindset going
No,
into something? Knowing, I mean, obviously, history can break, and
yeah,
history
definitely.
because there's a couple of games this year too. Sorry, I didn't mean to
Yeah.
ramble, but there are a couple games too that like Wyoming, UNLV hasn't won at Wyoming since 2003.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't won at Colorado State since 2002. There are, they've broken a lot of different things over the last couple of years. There's still a few to come. How could you see yourself in the mindset of, knowing that kind of history going through the year to be obviously the best team that you can be and the best player you can be, and to get through those kind of things to make, obviously it would be great. It's great for the city, but
Yeah.
what's your mindset knowing some of those kind of things and with a little bit of history?
Just knowing that first taking every game one game at a time, just knowing what's the goal or what's the game plan to get us this dub for this game, just breaking down everything we need to do. And just knowing that you're doing it for the city of Las Vegas, like something that's way bigger than you. Like you got people who's from here. You haven't beaten Boise State in 3 years straight since it's been in the championship game. So just taking that approach to that game and just having a chip on your shoulder when we play them, I feel like that'll get us far. Like if we all come locked in and all the talent that we got here or that Dan Mullen brought in to UNLV, and we all buy into the same goal, I feel like we can accomplish a lot of things in Vegas and do a lot of special things this year.
Speaking of that, if someone has never seen you play, what's the first thing that they're going to see or notice?
I feel like they'll notice the pass game first. As in being a tight end, I think they'll notice the pass game first. Even though we got a, amazing run game, I feel like this year, um, I feel like they'll notice the pass game first though, and then they'll probably be shocked about how like well I can block in the run game too. So yeah.
Speaking of the system and how you play, Dan Mullen, he made Kyle Pitts first round pick. He Aaron Hernandez was the man in that system. What gets you excited about playing in his system, knowing his history with tight ends?
Just knowing that those guys had success in his offense and knowing that I have like a similar game to those guys and seeing what they can do and all what they produce in Dan Mullen's offense just gives me a whole bunch of confidence on going into Dan Mullen's offense and knowing what he did in the past.
What's Corey Dennis like in the film room or on the field? What kind of energy does he bring?
I feel like Corey Dennis, Coach Dennis. He's a good coach. Just knowing how he's developing Alex Orgy, Anthony, Frio, Gael, just knowing how hard those guys work um off the field, on the field, and just knowing that they come in ready to work just explains how good of a Coach Dennis is.
Speaking of Cameron Friel, he's one of those guys too that kind of like how Kalea was, that's been here through it all. What kind of experience has like and leadership has he brought you since you've been here? Just talking about UNLV and the experiences he's gone through.
Now he's definitely one of those guys who he's definitely one of those guys. If you was definitely looking for somebody to follow on the team, he would be definitely one of those guys to follow under that I'll point in direction to follow under. So good player though, good player. He just gotta when his opportunity comes, I feel like he'll take advantage of it too.
Compared to the other offense that you played in before at Arkansas or at North Texas, what's new here that you're hyped to show?
I feel like it's now that I'm older because I was my tight end coach that's here. I was with him at North Texas when I got All American. So he knows my different games and what I can do more than any other coach probably in college football. So knowing that he knows what I can do and knowing that I've been to the SEC and been around older guys and learned more game and more knowledge and putting it together of what I had already knew, I think that'll be a good experience this upcoming season.
Let's lighten it up a little bit and not talk about so much about football. You're from Houston. How's Vegas been treating you so far? I know we got into a little bit. Has there been any kind of culture shock? Kind of.
Nah, cause I was at North Texas, so I was like around a lot of polys, the different type of cultures, a little bit at North Texas, cause that's what most of it is. But down here, I can say it's just like it's definitely a culture shock. Like what I described it to my brother is I told him like it feel like you in like a Disney movie. That's what I told him. I was like I don't know how to explain it. It just feel like a Disney movie. Like that's all I can say.
I would say I agree with that. When I think of Vegas and I try to explain it to other people, it's like they either take it as it sounds like a mob story in a sense,
Yeah.
or they think of it like how you said, like a Disney movie that there's always something, there's always a twist, there's unexpected left or right turn.
Yeah.
What is so you what about have you been to anything on this trip? Have you been to any shows or anything? Have you been to any UFC fight?
I've been to Fremont Street. I've been to Dre's recently. It was like the Wildin' Outcast that was there. That was a pretty good experience.
What'd you think of Fremont?
Fremont is definitely an experience. When I first saw it, I was like, yeah, this is a amazing experience. Definitely like the lights and all of that. Definitely a good experience. I'm gonna go probably try the little zip lining. They're trying to get me to try that, but I don't know whenever I try, but right now I don't think I am.
It's
But
definitely different. You know, it's kind
yeah,
of it's cool that you're like a superhero kind of flying down, but it's
yeah.
also you look down and you see all
All those people like you, like, yeah. No, that's gonna be the experience whenever I do try.
Have you been down to the Arts District?
No, I never been there yet.
Arts District is cool if you like more of like if you kind of like the Fremont vibe. Arts District is cool because it's a little bit cheaper than Fremont in a sense, and it's more like divey bars kind of. So there's I think 2 or 3 breweries down there now. There's a bunch of really good restaurants, and they have a bunch of bars that are cool that are bar.
Yeah, I've been at Lolo's Chicken and Waffle.
That place is
A good
good.
spot. That's been a good spot.
Yes.
I never been there yet, but I heard about it though. I definitely heard about it.
They treat UNLV players really well there. If you've seen, like they do, I think they had a couple players last year. They got some burger, like their burger of the month. They do a lot of things with the Raiders, and it's cool that they really support UNLV.
Okay.
When I went to UNLV, I went there all the time. uh, so you were in obviously before you got to college, you were homecoming king, and you're a big basketball guy. What do people need to know about you outside of football?
Outside of football, I like to play basketball. Definitely, I like to make music too on the side. Like I just listen to like instrumentals or like I try to put my voice on like a instrumental and see how it sounds. Like I just do stuff outside of football that like just get my mind off of football for the time being. I go outside, just walk, just see the view somewhere, just doing little things like that. I like being in nature.
Have you been out to Red Rock or Mount Charleston yet?
I don't think so, but I've been to like this tall mountain that you ride up, and then you can like to see like the whole view. But I don't know like the name of it. I just know like the
I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the name either. Now that you say that,
you
is
ride
it
up
out in
and
like
then
Henderson?
yeah, and then you can park on the side. It's like a lot of rocks and stuff on the side. You can park and then you can like get like a view. You can go up some more though, but I had stopped like where I saw everybody else stop at, so I stopped right there too.
If you like the nature, I would definitely recommend going up to like Mount Charleston. It's so like how it is today. It's hot. It's 100 degrees outside. Up there is usually about 20, 25 degrees cooler. There's a lot of cool hiking trails and stuff up there. If you ever have the chance to go, Red Rock is more of like I would say it's kind of similar to what you were talking about. It's up in like the Summerlin, like up past Summerlin. It's more of like your desert rock, like rocky kind of. They have some really, it's really pretty if you like nature, and it has some good hiking trails up there too. So you get, I have a good question for you. You get one night in Vegas, you have off, you have no curfew. What's the move? What are you doing?
I see. I probably see who's in town first, as in like rappers who's rapping, see where they rapping at, or I just go like I go just walk the script and see what's on the script, like what there's there to do today, because it's always something going on in Vegas, always. So
If you're driving on 215 or 95, you're stuck in traffic. What's playing in your car, and are you singing along to it in the car?
I'm gonna have to say because like I'm always playing this song, like even when I'm going to practice or going anywhere, I'm about to say Lil Boosie set it up definitely, and I'm definitely singing along.
There a specific song or playlist that you listen to before games?
Like a song or like a playlist before game, I'm probably gonna have to go with OTB Fast Lane Legendary. He's a Houston rapper. I'm gonna have to go with him.
Do you kind of change it up depending on who you're playing, or do you kind of just keep the same kind of vibe? Because I know how athletes are; they can be very superstitious.
I feel like with me, mostly for all my games, like I'm going with like the hardcore drill, Lil Boosie, set off Lil Webby, just those rappers from out the boot. Yeah.
Speaking of the Houston,
Dwayne.
how far did you grow up from where Sam Houston's at? Because that's obviously who. I guess you played now technically your second game since they moved it because of the
Oh,
fight.
I was so mad when they said that we was not playing no more at Sam Houston, that they're gonna cancel it.
They're playing. You guys are still playing that game, aren't you?
Nah, I saw they took it off our schedule. I thought. I
That was
don't
a
know.
future. That was a future game.
Oh, so we are still going there.
Yeah, the game.
Okay, good.
So at least from what I saw, they were supposed to come back. They were supposed to. It was like a home and home series. So you guys are going there, and then they come back here in the future.
I
But
thought
they
they
took
was changing it up again.
yeah they took it off I don't know what's true. Obviously, that part's probably true that but there's been all kinds of stuff flying that they're trying to upgrade their schedule going forward. But how far away was Sam Houston from where you grew up? And are you potentially gonna have a lot of family at that game?
Definitely 45 minutes, probably like 45, probably 30, I think, if you catch it at the right time, probably 30. We definitely gonna be at that game like deep. A lot of us, if we still playing in Houston, I hopefully I hopefully we are, but we definitely gonna be there deep, like a lot of us. Yeah.
That game is probably the one you're most excited for, just because it's kind of a homecoming game for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy that they moved that game because of the boxing fight.
Yeah, I saw that. I was week 0.
It's at least you guys, from a football perspective, you don't have to go into that Sam Houston game with just eating on each other at practice. You can get some you can get some, reps in against Idaho State.
And get the season started early.
Yeah. I will say, if you kind of want to, I don't know how competitive you are. Obviously, you probably have a little bit competitiveness in you. UNLV put 70 on the FCS school they played last year.
70?
Yeah, they beat Utah Tech 70-13. They rushed for 596 yards that game. Everybody got their touches.
Everybody should have got touchdowns there.
Would you try to, obviously games are different, coaches are different types of players. Do you ever look at those kind of things? Like, we beat somebody this, like, history wise, would you try to beat that the following year, or do you just try to play your own game?
I just try to just play my own game. I wouldn't just go into like trying to like beat them by this much. I'm the type to just let it happen, like not really go. But if we want to beat somebody by 70 or 80, I'm with it. I'm definitely with it. So
Yeah, that game was. I remember being at that game last year because they played it at Allegiant. It was like week 2 or week 3, I think, and they had just played. Because last year they opened the season at Houston, and they beat them at Houston, and then they played Kansas the following week, I think. Yeah, they played at Kansas the following week and had just beaten Kansas, and then came back and had to play an FCS level school after playing 2 Big 12 schools. Obviously, that's a whole different level of competition. I think I have a few more for you. This one I just kind of added on my head because we were kind of talking about how you were saying you like the guys in the locker room. There's, guys like Friel, Alex, Anthony, the younger tight ends that are with you that don't have experience yet. Who would you say so far that you've grown the closest to since you moved to Vegas?
to see who I've grown the closest with since I've been to Vegas, since I've been here, I'm gonna have to say probably Matt Burns, one of the tight ends. We've been growing closer, just getting to know each other. Nick, I've been growing closer with Nick too, as in the tight end room. We'll watch film just to see what we need to improve with after practice. So just working with those guys like Jay, you got Jay, just working with him as on the fullback and just the H back part of being of tight end, because they put the tight end and the H back together now. So just telling him how that goes, and you got Jefferson too. So we all just getting to know each other, bonding, and just getting ready for the season.
You don't know how to. I've watched. I maybe obviously haven't watched a lot of football like you have, but I've watched enough football to know the H-back's a very difficult position if you don't know how to play it, especially if you're learning it. So having somebody with experience like you is probably really helping them out.
Yeah.
When your time at UNLV is done, what do you want people to say about you and what you brought to the program?
That I gave it all I got. That I left back some good memories. Winning games, just to leave my mark, to be remembered.
And then we'll finish with this. In 2025, UNLV football will be what?
Remembered.
All right. I like that.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Varkeyes, and I'm excited to see you out there in the fall. Welcome to Vegas, man. If you ever need anything, I'm always a message away. Let's run it, baby.
Yes, sir.